Hello, hello. Welcome to day two of my 21 day live challenge. I am going live for 21 days here because I want to give you tips, tools, and strategies to help you on your wealth building journey and learn more about some tools and some products and some money making mindsets that you should have as you are building your multi-million dollar legacy. If this is your first time watching me live, my name is Terry Alford. I'm known as the Women's Wealth Strategist. I specialize in helping business owners build wealth and financial freedom so that we can live, lead, and leave multi-million dollar legacies. Notice again, I said live. We want to live a multi-million dollar legacy. We want to lead a multi-million dollar legacy and leave a multi-million dollar legacy. I was actually speaking to my therapist today about leadership and some leadership principles. And as a matter of fact, shameless plug and celebration here. I actually had a conversation with my therapist where we said today is like the last day for a little while. Because I'm healed. I'm in another place. Like I've graduated. So I'm gonna go ahead and shake my own pom pom. She was like, I'm gonna miss you. I'm like, I'm gonna miss you too, but it's not that I'm gone forever. It's just, the things that I used to struggle with, I don't struggle with no more. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. The things that I struggle with, I don't struggle with anymore. And the mindset that I used to have around certain things, I don't have that mindset anymore. And so it's just exciting to be on the other side. But that's not what I came here to talk to you about on today. Today, I came to share with you how I feel about term life insurance policies. If you do not know, I am a life insurance broker. I've been licensed this summer. It would actually be 10 years. Believe it or not, I've been licensed since I was 25. But I decided to really take my business seriously about 5 years ago. And actually, I'm gonna say maybe 6 years ago because I started really, picking up the pace while I was working my job and I was building my business part time. And here I am, full time now doing this thing and enjoying this life of this entrepreneurship life. So anyway, this is not about me, but this is about how I feel about term life insurance policies. I feel like people ask me often about my thoughts, like, are all term policies bad? Are all whole life policies bad? Are all index universal life policies and IULs bad? No, because one thing about it is, as I am an insurance broker, I am not someone who believes in a one size solution fits everybody. I do not believe that everybody should have one type of product or one type of policy. I was actually speaking with the older gentleman last night, and he was sharing with me that he wanted an infinite banking type of policy. And I said, well, before you do that, and before you say that, because of your age, let's make sure that this is the right policy for you. And because of your budget, let's make sure this is the right policy for you, because it may not do all the things that you want for it to do because of the cost of insurance. And so, again, I'm one of those insurance brokers that's going to tell you how I feel and give you some advice based on what I know and not how much commission I want to make. And so let me just go ahead and start with saying that term policies do serve a purpose. I do not believe that term policies are bad, but I do want to share with you that I personally have more permanent policies than I do a term policy. So a term policy, again, it does serve its purpose. Some term policies are used for mortgage protection. Some term policies are used so that people can get a lot of insurance coverage for less money per month. If you've heard people say, oh, you need $1 million policy, I am a believer that we need $1 million policy. I'm actually a strong believer in, if more people had $1 million policies, then that will change the whole system when people are killed. And we need the support of the community. We need the support of law enforcement. We need all of the support around senseless killings. But if the insurance companies had to pay out $1 million or $2 million every time something like that happened, the insurance companies would be easy to get support from. But that's another story for another day. Term policies. term policies do serve a purpose, okay? So with the term policy, it does expire. A term policy is designed to offset the cost of a loss for a specific period of time. So you can have a term policy for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, but at the end of that term, that policy is gone. That's it. That's all. Unless it is a return of premium policy, whatever you have paid into that policy is gone. It's like when you pay for car insurance. You're like, well, with this car insurance, I'm paying just in case I have an accident. But if I don't have an accident, it's not like the car insurance company is going to give me all the money that I put into that policy. They're not going to give it back. Progressive is not going to say, oh, you've been a Progressive client for 20 years and you've never had a car accident. Here's all your car insurance premiums back. No, they're not about to do that. Geico's not about to do that. I'll say State Farm, they're not about to do that. And so when you are thinking about term policies, I want you to think about the fact that if you do not have that return to premium option, that policy is truly designed to be there to help you in case there was a loss. But if there is no loss, then and there's no return of premium rider, there is no money back. Okay, there's no money back. Also, though, you should have the ability to use your term policy while you're living. Yes, I did say that correctly. You should have the ability to use your term policy while you're living. If your term policy does not have something called an accelerated living benefit rider on it, then that means that that policy is outdated or does not have all the benefits and features that your policies can have. Now, every carrier that I work with, they automatically offer accelerated living benefits as a free rider if the client can be approved for it. Now, if the client is not able to be approved for it because of their medical conditions or their medical history, then they will not have that rider. But for those of us who can get that rider on our policies, it's available on all of our policies at no additional cost. What that means is if you become ill with a critical illness like heart attack, stroke, cancer, become paralyzed, some carriers count AIDS and HIV as a critical illness. If you lose a limb, if you are diagnosed with those critical illnesses, then you're able to submit a claim and be able to accelerate funds from the death benefit from that policy. Notice I said this is available on a term policy. I'm not speaking about cash value. I'm speaking about you accelerating the money from the death benefit. If you cannot do that with your term policy, if you do not have that as a rider on your term policy, it's time for you to upgrade your term policy. I will be more than happy to do a policy review with you. There is no cost for me to take a look at your policy and make sure that you are insured and you're also properly insured and you're not underinsured. Some people are underinsured. You have coverage, but you have more debt and more expenses that you will leave your loved one or your spouse if you left this earth, or if you were not able to work everything financially is going to come crumbling down if you're not properly insured. So make sure that you do have those riders on your term policies, even if you do have a term policy. And I will say this too. Some people will say, well, I think terms are the best policies. I don't think that people should get whole life policies or permanent policies. Term do serve a purpose, but even if you're trying to get your entire household covered, the only way you can get a child covered with the term policy is through a term rider. And that is that child riding on your term policy. But here's the thing, or your policy period. They have a term rider. Once that child grows up and become an adult, they have to change that policy from being just, they have to change that rider so that they're not just a rider on that policy, but they will have their own policy. This is incredibly important because I feel that people should know that term riders for children serve a purpose. If you are not in a position to be able to pay for your children to have their own policy, maybe you have 17 children. Okay, y'all know I love the number 17. I love the number 21. Maybe you have 17 children and you can't afford to right now get a policy on each of the 17 children. Well, if you use the child term rider, then that rider may cost you an additional $15, $20 per month. And all 17 children are covered with that rider. However, if you do have it in your budget to pay $15 or $20 per month for each of your 17 children to have their own policy, it's important that you do that, because you can spend that same $15 to $20 per month and give all of your children a permanent policy that they will not outlive. It has all of the accelerated living benefits, and it's usually at least $50,000 that they'll have for the rest of their life. So again, I'm not someone that will say that term policies are bad, but when it comes to children, you have to get a permanent policy. And if you only use the rider to protect those children, then you're actually missing out on opportunities to give them coverage at the lowest rate possible for the rest of their life. Once they get that policy for $15 or $20 per month, that's going to be their premium forever. Okay? Forever. Try getting a $50,000 permanent policy on a 65-year-old. Do the quote for that and see the difference. I promise you it won't be $15, $20. Okay. So one thing that is great about terms is terms give you the opportunity to have a high death benefit with less money per month. But the not so great side of it is that if a client continues to outlive their term, every time they get ready to get a new policy, it's going to be so much more. I had a client of mine. He passed, unfortunately, December 31st. He did not make it into 2025. But when he came to me, when his wife became my client, he was 80. He was between 80 and 81. Like, he was turning 81 in the process of getting the plan. And the truth of the matter is, it cost him hundreds of dollars to be able to get covered because he kept outliving his term. So again, I do believe that term has its benefits, but if you want something that is more permanent, something that you cannot outlive, then I do recommend that you look into permanent options too. Now, when it comes to what type of permanent option you choose and how to have your policy designed, that's a whole nother live, right? That's a whole nother video. If you go to YouTube, there is a playlist that has insurance and annuities playlist where I have different videos speaking about different types of policies. I recommend that you go look at that. If you're watching this video on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe, and you'll be able to know when I continue to go live and speak about different types of policies. But on today, again, I wanted to focus on how I feel about term life insurance policies. I feel like if you are in a position where you need a lot of coverage and your budget is low, go ahead and get that term policy, because it's a straightforward policy. It's a straightforward approach, and it can be converted into a permanent policy. Now, the other recommendation I have is I have some of my clients who do want to have $1 million in coverage, but their budget may not be such that they have enough money to pay per month for a permanent plan. So we may do a blend, right? So they may do $500,000 in a term and $500,000 in a permanent policy. So together they still have $1 million in coverage. And I actually recommend having more than one policy anyway, especially so that if you do have an accelerated living benefit condition and you are able to accelerate funds from that policy, you're able to accelerate funds from one policy, but you still have another policy that is in place and working in your favor. Sometimes when you put in those claims, it does squash the policy for good. So I recommend you have more than one policy. All right. So I want to know if this was good for you, if it was beneficial, if you've learned something new on today. Hi, Kamisha. Thank you for tuning in. Good evening. Good afternoon, Queen. And if you found this video to be educational, inspirational, or motivational, please type that word in the comment section. If you have more questions about just life insurance in general, whether it's the life insurance industry or life insurance policies, you can put in the comment section of this video, or you can send me a DM, or if you want to just talk like one-on-one for real, book an appointment, okay? Book an appointment. There is a button on my calendar link where it says life insurance inquiry, and we can talk about what those life insurance options could look like for you. So there's a link that's going across the bottom of the screen, and there'll be a link in the comment section of this video where you can book your appointment. And if you didn't get anything else from this video, get that I don't think term policies are bad. I don't think they're the best of the best. I don't think they're bad. I think they're the best for people in specific situations, and people in other situations, it may not be the best use of money. So for some people, they need to get a permanent policy to do some of the things that they want to do. They want to have more options. They want to have the Lamborghini Maserati version of the accelerated living benefits, while others want the Toyota version. So the one that you choose is the one that is best for your needs and the one that's best for your budget and best for what you want to do long term. So again, my name is Terry Alford. I thank you for watching. I am the owner of TNA Financial Group, which is my agency. I have a group for business women called Business Women Building Wealth. That's my community there, where we focus on our mindset, our money, and our movement. And then I also am the creator and the host of the Attract Abundance Conference and the Attract Abundance Framework, where I teach business owners how to attract more abundance and then use that abundance to get products and build their business in a way in which they're able to retire wealthy. Okay, so I am the host of the Attract Abundance Conference, and I would love to get to know you more. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you all have an amazing day. Adios.